One thing that really freaks me out whenever anybody does this, especially anybody new, is when they you need verticality and movement when you speak. I'm doing it a little bit too much right now just to prove my point, but if you're yeah, the new farmers market is just really something special. I'm just a really big fan of it. We should go biking later. I'm like, deceiver, skinwalker, I know what you are. You're just a little skinwalker.
This is a Neanderthal skull, and I'm not sure if you know this or not, but Neanderthals actually had a larger skull than we do, a larger brain case, potentially a bigger brain. So they had these very large skulls. They were kind of small in stature, but they had these large square eye sockets. They had bigger eyes than we do. On the left is the skull of a modern human, on the right is the skull of a Neanderthal. Now, Neanderthals went extinct in the ballpark of about 40,000 years ago in Europe, which is 5 to 10,000 years after Homo sapiens showed up. Homo sapien being modern man, sorry. But just real quick, it appears that shortly after modern man showed up everywhere, our cousins seemed to shortly thereafter go extinct. And they all had some pretty, neat variations to skull shapes and the like Neanderthals with their big creepy eyes. Long story short, have you guys ever heard of the Uncanny Valley? Because I think I might have figured out what happened to them.
No, I am a real person. Maybe we have a bad connection. I'm sorry about that.
Will you tell me you're not a robot? Just say I'm not a robot, please.
I am a real person.
Amy.
Red. Red. Red.
Bitches suck my dick 'cause my swag rhymes. Down in Ohio, swag like a...
Yo no sé, iba a decir eso. Niño.
down.
Yeah, it's fine, it's done.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No. He's gonna come inside.
Hey, he can't come inside, okay? Everything's locked.
He will never leave me alone. I told you he's crazy. He must know I'm here.
I'm gonna call the cops, okay? Don't move. Don't move. Where is he? Hey! Hey! I'm sure we can find a solution, okay? Please. Hey, please.
Well done, honey.
A fist of violence.
Hello, motherfucker.
Let's talk about the Uncanny Valley. The Uncanny Valley refers to this graph showing an object's resemblance towards being a human and our affinity towards that object. At the bottom of the graph are industrial robots and Roombas, things that don't really share a strong resemblance towards people and we're not really drawn to. If you go a little bit higher on the graph, you have things like toy dolls where most people can agree that it's pretty cute. And then at the peak of the graph you have other people. People are meant to be social animals, so it makes sense that we have a high affinity towards other people. The Uncanny Valley specifically refers to this sudden dip in the graph. When something looks almost human but not quite, we not only don't have any affinity towards it, the graph actually dips into the negatives at this point, which means we have a strong sense to avoid it. Remember the doll I mentioned earlier? Dolls that look more realistic, aka puppets, a lot of people tend to be scared of or off-put by. One of the most popular examples of the Uncanny Valley in pop culture would be the Polar Express. And this movie always freaked me out as a kid and I never knew why, so I'm glad other people had that feeling too. Now as for why we have this reaction, we really don't know. But this implies that during some point in our evolution, this was a benefit. Being off-put by something that appears almost human but isn't was beneficial to our survival at one point as a species, and that's why it got passed down to all of us. Now, like I said, we don't know why this is. One explanation that I've heard proposed is corpses, and we evolved to avoid them to avoid disease, but the first thing I thought about when I heard about the Uncanny Valley was psychopaths. They're known for having cold reptilian eyes and kind of giving you an unsettling feeling just like the Uncanny Valley. That's just something I thought of, though there's no backing behind it or anything. One explanation that I've heard proposed is corpses, but we've already evolved to avoid corpses because of their smell. So that explanation really doesn't make sense to me. I'm really curious to hear what your guys' thoughts on this are.
Help me. Huh? Please help me.
What? What's wrong with you?
It is for me.
What?
It took my daughter.
Burger?
Please let me inside.
What in the Uncanny Valley is this? Watch carefully. She looked like a normal lady at first, and then they kind of switched the frames and you could see this looks like a mask completely. So for those that don't know, what is Uncanny Valley? Uncanny Valley is a theory and a term used to describe an eerie sensation when you see something that looks human but isn't quite there. For example, the mannequins at the stores, if they're very realistic, you'll feel very uneasy around them. Kind of the same thing with robots, they're making them very human-like and it's really creepy. But this is an instinct that evolved within us, so why is that? I guess it's instinctual to avoid things that look like us but are not us. Maybe in the past this happened with some sort of creature, or maybe our minds are too complex now and we're overthinking everything. And if you didn't feel uneasy looking at that clip, let me roll it one more time for you. Just so it sinks in your head.
She must have been out of her head.
my favorite perfume.
You don't sound Russian?
How could I sound anything, silly? I'm plastic. I don't even have a voice box. I had to borrow this one. Don't turn on the light.
Are you going to kill me?
No! I mean, yes, but not for a good long while yet. I don't want you to go to waste.